What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So we're going to do a stimulus package, stimulus check update. We're going to talk about that third stimulus check. And yes, there will be a third stimulus check. So we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about, there are people out there saying, you know what, there's not going to be another stimulus package. This is it. Senator Joe Manchin, he doesn't want it, so we're not going to have it. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Joe Manchin actually didn't say he didn't want a stimulus package. He's just talking about the $2,000 stimulus check. But this is more, in the political world, this is more of jockeying. He's jockeying for a position at this point. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about, $2,000 stimulus check or $1,400 stimulus check. Now, initially, $1,400 was probably what we were going to be looking at. But that's if it's a standalone bill. If it's not a standalone bill, then I think we're going to be looking at that $2,000. But it's not going to be right away. I think it's going to be a couple months down the road. Now, these are my predictions, okay? I have no inside knowledge when it comes to this. I'm just looking at it, looking at all the different factors. And if they put a big package together, which they're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar package, then we're probably going to see that $2,000 stimulus check. And we'll probably see it in March or April. It's not going to be any time right away. It's going to take some time for them to kind of work through things. President-elect Joe Biden says he wants to do things simultaneously. So if they are working on this impeachment, then work on the impeachment and then work on the cabinet nominations and then also work on another stimulus package. And so we might see all three of those things start to roll out in February, and they might be able to finalize it sometime in March, and then checks can go out in April. That's probably what we're looking at. So I think if they do a standalone bill, it's probably going to be the $1,400 stimulus check. If they do this multi-trillion-dollar bill that they're talking about, I think we're looking more at a $2,000 stimulus check at that time. Okay, so now let's talk about Senator Joe Manchin. So I talked about him a couple of days ago when it came to the $2,000 stimulus check. At first, he was like, it's not a yes or no question. And so he didn't really want to answer that yes or no when it came to $2,000 stimulus check. He was saying that it needs to be more targeted if we do it at all. But he didn't seem like he was really on board for this $2,000 stimulus check. He later softened up a little bit more when it came to the $2,000 stimulus check. But obviously, there's some resistance there. And you have to look at it this way. Senator Joe Manchin, he's very powerful right now because he's a swing voter. So he's a centrist, he's a moderate Democrat. He can go either way. And so because of that, now he has power, and so he can use that power to his advantage. And what I mean is, and this is why these bills that we see are so they're so large. And they're multi-trillion dollar. Usually in the past it was multi-billion dollar, but now it's multi-trillion dollar bills. Because this is one of those situations where Senator Joe Manchin is going to say, well, you know what? I represent West Virginia, and it would be nice if we could work on our infrastructure. You hear he's already put that out there, the infrastructure stuff. It'd be nice if we could build some new bridges and roads in West Virginia. So you know what? I'll go along with the $2,000 stimulus checks if you, in turn, give us some money to build some more roads and bridges in West Virginia. And that's how that all works. So right now he's putting it out there like, I don't know about the $2,000 stimulus check because he knows a lot of people want that. He knows a lot of politicians are on board for that. So now he's kind of, saying, I don't know about that because he knows that people will start coming to him. Politicians are going to start coming to him and say, okay, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for you to be on board for a $2,000 stimulus check? So I think right now, Senator Joe Manchin, he's just playing that. He's using that leverage. He has the power. So he's thinking, okay, you know what? I can bring some pork back to West Virginia if I kind of hold out a little bit, but then I'll go for it. If it's between him and not having a $2,000 stimulus check, trust me, he's going to go for it because he's got a lot of people in West Virginia that would want this $2,000 stimulus check. He's not going to go against it, but he's trying to use that leverage in order to bring some more money into West Virginia. And that's how politicians are. Yeah, he's not the only one. If they see that, oh, you know what? I have a little bit of power here. And you might see some other politicians come out doing the same thing where they're kind of using their leverage so they can get something for their state or get something for their district. So that is not uncommon. I'm not really worried too much about that. Now let's talk about the numbers here. So we know we have 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, and then Kamala Harris, the vice president, comes in as the tiebreaker. And I talked before about the fact that you need 60 votes in order to avoid a debate, right? Now, there's something else that they can do. They can go with 51 votes. So let's say you get the 50 Democrats to vote for this multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package, and then Kamala Harris comes in as the tiebreaker, and so you have the 51 votes, so now you have the majority. Now, in this situation, they can pass this by reconciliation. So you don't necessarily have to have the 60 votes. You can go with a majority and use this reconciliation in order to move forward and approve the bill. So it's one of those situations with reconciliation, they do have another option. And in this case, if this is a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package, they would probably use it for this, because this is probably going to be the biggest package that we've ever seen and that we will ever see for the foreseeable future. So we'll have to see how they work that. But when it comes down to it, Joe Manchin, I don't really see him really going against this as long as they can take care of West Virginia. That's what it's going to come down to, taking care of West Virginia. Now, when it comes to the current stimulus package, they're starting to roll things out when it comes to unemployment. The enhanced unemployment is starting to go out. Most states have started to implement it. When it comes to the January 15th deadline, that is right around the corner. So January 15th, they need to have the IRS needs to process all those stimulus checks. So they have to send everything out by that time. If you have not received your stimulus check by January 15th, then that's when you should have already gone to the Get My Payment tool just to see where you are in the process. But it might be a situation where you're going to have to file your taxes and you're going to have to claim it on your taxes. So just be prepared to do that if that happens. People have asked me, well, what if I don't file taxes? I would recommend, if you're in that situation, talk to a tax professional, of course, but I would recommend filing your taxes. So if you're in a situation where you only make $12,000 a year, you're on fixed income and you don't normally file your taxes, talk to a tax professional and see if it makes sense to file your taxes in order to get that $600 stimulus check, because that's the only way that you're going to get it now. They're not opening up a portal so you can put in your banking information or anything like that. So if they do not mail out a check to you, if they do not send a debit card to you, or if they do not send it to you via direct express or your direct deposit, then you're not gonna get the check. So you have to, at that point, you're gonna have to do your taxes. Now, if you guys have any other questions, please post them below. I just did a video yesterday where I answered the frequently asked questions. So make sure if you do have questions, put them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.